Hello and welcome to episode 2 of 7 Days to Die mod edit video tutorials. This video is purely a getting started video for the application. I am Wrathmaniac, the creator and the host for this video. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to be showing you how to get started with this application and what you need to do. So I am sitting here on nexusmods.com at mod754 in the 7 Days to Die category. You can find this file under utilities and modder resources as well. I have a fresh download directly from the site as of today, the 30th of January 2021. I have put the file into a folder on my desktop. So what you want to do is you want to just create any folder and then just put that archive into that folder. This application was designed to live in its own little folder away from the game. You could even put a folder within the 7 Days to Die game and just call it 7 Days to Die mod edit or something like that. Whatever you want. It can just live within inside a folder, and that is about it. Um, Other than that, you just extract the guy. It is a fully self-contained application with all dependencies, so you don't have a bunch of junk in here with it. All you got to do is open up this guy. We can see it pops up a little splash screen that says, killing zombies or making mods. No, I'm not doing either of those. It doesn't care. It's still going to pop you up the window. Anyway, it's just a little joke. So, now that we're in this application, wow, that's a lot. What's going on here? Well, there's a lot of different pieces, so I think a good thing to do would be getting you started on just a brief little overview of all these little locations. So what we have here is just a simple new object window. This is a combo box that is relying on game XML configuration files. This as well is a combo box relying on game XML configuration files. So this side I will be getting to these two windows in more detail. There is quite a bit of functionality within both of them, and I do not want to spend any more time on that right now. So for now, we're just focusing on getting started. Here in the center is where we will see a lot of, is where we will be working with loaded mods for the most part. So now that we have this application open, what the heck do we do? Well, one of the first things I typically do is I change the theme to dark because I prefer it. And then, of course, the second thing you need to do is you need to load some game files. So this says click to load an XML file or multiple XML files. This would typically be a game XML file such as recipes.xml. Great. So let's do that now. That's what we need to do. This application will be needing these files. It's absolutely essential, and it makes sense because these are the things that, if you're a modder of 7 Days to Die, then you know you will be needing these files. You will need to reference them. You'll need to change them. You need to use these files heavily in order to mod 7 Days to Die. So that's where we're going to get started. It sits in your data folder here, and it is in config, and there are all of the XML files that this application is waiting for. We want to grab all of them, and except for the stealth.txt file there at the bottom, or the xml.txt file, because we don't need those two txt files, but you do want to get the localization.txt files. For users of the past, I am sorry, that used to crash the app. Now it is necessary for the localization function. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and load those XML files. You can, of course, even load the XUI and XUI menus, but that has to be done separately. So we're going to just go ahead and skip that part. I'll load one just to show how that looks in the app. So we'll load the XUI because we might need these as well. And like that, we can see how that shows up in here. It says XUI, and you can see these are the files, so you know which one is which. So now that we've loaded the files, you can see this combo box got populated with those XML files as promised. And if we look over here, we have all these XML files loaded as promised. So something I will do really quick is if I load, I believe dialogues is very small. I can just quickly load a game search tree here, and you can see what that does. So now the XML is in a format that is much easier to read. And a very useful thing too is you can even open it up directly here now. So this down here gives you access to the files, the XML files directly, and it's local to the application. So if you change these files, they change the files for the application, not for the actual game. Meaning you can open this up, add some little comments in here, and that will now show up in your search tree. So with that, you are able to view your XML configuration files to search for the data in two different ways. The way you would do it normally in Notepad++, which is to actually dig through the file directly. And the cool thing is this application does provide some tools, not all of them, but if you hit Control F, you can, of course, search the file for certain things. And as you search, it will, of course, highlight things in the file. So it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of a typical text editor, but I have done my best to provide the necessary ones. So that's something to keep in mind. If you think that there's something that should be in there, there's a good chance it's in there. For instance, you can select multiple lines, you can select drag and drop, and you can even do something better, and you can drag and drop into a different window, like this, which is very useful. And as you see, just like in Notepad, it gives you a little star to say when it has been changed. If you want to undo everything since I've opened the window, I can do that, and boom, it goes back to exactly how it was when I opened the window. Or we can reload the file from disk, which means if I were to save it over here with those changes that I just made, and I come back over here, it says the file has changed externally. Would you like to load those changes? Why, yes, I would. And boom, we can see it completely synced the two windows because this window is synced by the file in the background, of course. Now, I am going to spend more time digging into these open dialog windows. The main idea was just to show you how to get started with the application. So now you have your game XML files and you know what to do with them. You can add search trees to look through them over here. So I could do that for any of those XML files, or you can open them directly and search for the information that you need within them directly. Now that I've showed you how to load the game XML configuration files, the other main thing you need to know about is, of course, loading mods. So that's what's going on here. It says this needs to be set. It's because there's no mods. Now, of course, I can create a new mod, which I will be showing you in another video. The idea here is just getting started with the application. So what you really need to know is how to load other mods. I think this is useful information for you. So if we jump over here, and I can go directly into my game and go directly into my mods folder and pick one of my mods. And what you want to do is select the folder that contains everything else. So this would be like the name of the mod in a lot of cases. So I can select this folder right here. It's one of mine. It's for immersive schematic crafting. And after you select the folder, you can see it loads it into this combo box and this combo box as well. Now, what does that do? It gives us access to all of the files for that mod now. So now that I've loaded that mod, I can actually go through the files super easily. I have all of the files for that mod here, and I actually have the ability to even generate search trees for those mods files as well. So any mod you load will be in these two combo boxes here, and you can easily go through their files the same way as you do the game configuration XML files. So you can have a tree view to go through the files if you need it to be more compact. Maybe you need some of the extra functionality that these search trees provide, or maybe you just need to make a quick little edit. You can open it up in a direct editor window, and voila, it is just like Notepad++. Not just like, there's a lot more bells and whistles in Notepad++, but it gives you, it's a text editor. It gives you the ability to do the things you need to do and edit your XML files for this mod. You know how to load the game XML files, and you kind of know what they're useful for. So the next thing to know is just some of the basic little tools that exist for mods that will come in handy as you're looking through your mods that are kind of a little hidden in the application. So there are two main aspects to mods that you don't really see here. This is mainly focused on the XML, But there are tools that will assist you with both the mod info and the localization txt for your mods. So what's cool about these windows is that they are completely independent of the application, and you can switch between mods directly in them if you need to. So the localization actually allows you to open multiple at once, and you can still have access to the main application. The mod info does not give you that ability and will in fact lock the application. So if you're working with mod infos, you have to do your work and close this window before you can go back to do anything else. But it is still very useful for easily switching between mods, changing the mod infos for them, and you can do that all in one window. You can even do the localization for many different mods all in one window. And the cool thing with localization changes is you can even open up the same mod or multiple mods and put them side by side in a quick, easy localization window. And as you can see, this completely grids it out. This grid is generated by the localization here, by the localization file itself. So this is just another one of the very useful tools that comes with this application. I am merely showing you that as part of this getting started video so you can kind of see some of the usefulness to having some of these mods loaded and what this application gives you. It gives you a simple window to be able to quickly access all of the files for a mod and to be able to switch between mods easily so you can quickly access the files for those mods, and you do it all within one application. That was the idea for 7 Days to Die Mod Edit. I hope you guys like it. I have put a lot of work into this application. It is certainly not perfect, but it has helped me create quite a few great mods that I have shared with the excellent community that exists out there. From Guppy's Discord server to just some of the great mod authors that I've talked to. It's a real pleasure for me to be part of the community, and I really hope this video and this application will help you in your modding endeavors.